The policewoman looked into the pit curiously. The policewoman was attacked by a monster from inside. When she comes up again, the policewoman only had her upper body left. The monster that attacked her was the creation of a perverted scientist. This group of mutated monsters bite everyone they see and love to eat human flesh. Not even the special forces are immune. Act On. A special forces unit lands on an abandoned industrial site in the United States. Their mission is to destroy the mutants hiding here. This is a secret American chemical and biological base. But because the biochemical experiments here are out of control, countless mutants used as experimental materials came out and killed all the experimentalists. The soldiers are trying to prevent mutants from spreading into the city, so they ventured inside the base. They moved carefully through the tunnel by the faint light. Soon they'll be fighting the mutants. The mutants are even more vicious than they think. The sound of gunshots mixed with the screams of mutants. Before the soldiers could react, they were already knocked down and bitten by monsters. The corpses of the soldiers were in a very miserable state of death. The last man crawled out of the base through a vent with his teammates covering him. Unfortunately, the mutants caught up. All of a sudden, he was dragged back. 10 years passed quickly. On the surface, calm seems to have returned to what was once a bloody place. Ignoring the warnings, a group of ignorant youths excitedly arrived at the base. They're throwing a big party here. Rhythmic DJ music filled the entire base. Countless young men and women danced to the music and the atmosphere reached a climax. Charles, a strong man in the crowd, touched the hot Lily's ass. Lily's boyfriend Pim became angry when he found out and fought with the man. Pim quickly knocked Charles to the ground. Charles pulled out his .44 caliber handgun. Pim's crew turned and fled the scene. Charles and others quickly ran after him. Pim and his men hid in the dark passageway of the base. Charles, seeing he couldn't get in, locked the door and prepared to trap them. The door is made of concrete and metal. There is no hope for them to break in violently. Pim, his brother Matt, and others had to find another exit. William, a soldier, comforted everyone not to panic. Matt tells everyone that the second exit should be in the opposite direction from the previous entrance. A staircase at the end of the corridor leads to the second floor, but the stairs here are very old. Matt divided the people into two teams. He let the ladies go first on the principle of ladies first. He's at the end with William and Matthew. The first group made it through. An accident happened when it was the second group's turn. The corroded wooden board couldn't bear it and completely broke. We have no choice but to move on. Fortunately, no one was injured. They traveled a few hundred meters through the dark base and found a secret passage. William was the first to look in by the light of the lighter. In the darkness, he saw a pair of piercing green eyes and ran back. Matt thought William was wrong and sent him over to see it again. William sticks his head out again and sees nothing. At this time, he did not know that more terrible things were still to come. Matthew and the team was so scared that he wanted to go to the toilet. Unexpectedly, a fierce mutant broke into the urinal next door and ran into the bathroom. Matthew was grabbed by the mutants and tossed around a few times. He also had an ear ripped off by a mutant. Matthew's screams could be heard throughout the base. The others rushed to the toilet and carried the bloody Matthew out. He was covered in blood and in so much pain that he couldn't speak. Everyone asked for a long time, but still didn't know what exactly attacked him. While they were guessing, the mutants have reappeared. The first thing the young people did was run away and forget about Matthew on the ground. The mutant nimbly jumped from the ceiling, picked up Matthew, and jumped back into the pipe. The mutants turned and disappeared into the darkness. They ran after them in an attempt to retrieve their companions. Soon after, they found Matthew's body stuck outside a pipe. Matthew's companions rushed forward to pull him out. They saw Matthew's head and it was gone. Once again, everyone started running for their lives. On their way to escape, they see another mutant in a huge water tank. This mutant has a ferocious face. It floated in the water without moving. Just when everyone was curious, it suddenly opened its eyes. Apparently there's more than one mutant here. Everybody keep looking for the exit. Later, a woman at the end of the line was also attacked and dragged away by mutants. The ground is a wire mesh structure. The mutant drags its prey along. By the time we got there, this guy was a bloody mess. A series of tragic deaths of fellow members of the team has strained the atmosphere to the extreme. A line of people came to the control room to find weapons for self-defense again on the road. Matt heard a voice from the hose above his head beckoning everyone to stop. Soon the mutants appear. Matt's companion Mary was dragged into the hose before she could react. Matt got into the hose and chased Mary to save her. Lucky Matt not only rescued Mary, but also found a camera left by special forces 2 years ago in a pile of debris. He learned from the videos left by the soldiers that the mutants were actually the result of military experiments. Mutants are smarter and more agile than humans. Matt takes Mary and reunites with the army. As a result, another girl among the companions was abducted into the passage by mutants. No one else could get into the narrow passageway. Then the mutant ate the girl directly in front of everyone. Soon they noticed that there were some control panels next to some of the canals. The panel looks like it controls the water temperature. Matt probed the water with a stick to see how deep it was. Mary ventured to speculate that mutants were amphibians. They can't survive even in toxic water. As they spoke, a hand reached out of the water and caught Pim's foot. The upper half of a mutant emerges from the water. It places Pim's severed hand in front of Matt and disappears into the water. Matt jumped straight into the water and found Pim in pain. Matt tried to take him from the mutants, but Matt is no match for mutants underwater. In the end, Pim was taken by the mutants. The 4 who survived made it to the lab on the base. This is where they learned where the mutants came from. The old man in the video is the creator of the mutants. He said these mutants were tailor-made for the French Navy and the U.S. military. His purpose is to let mutants enter the battlefield instead of ordinary soldiers. But mutants have a very high mortality rate, so the old man used the young woman's body as a vessel. Mutants live in their wombs, and there's blood to feed them every day. But this mutant is highly contagious. Anyone who comes in contact with it can mutate. The old man was very proud of his improved experimental results. He even named them frogmen. The 4 people who learned the truth were very frightened. Suddenly the lights go out. A group of frogmen came near the lab. Everyone hurried away with kerosene lamps. William was injured in the stomach in a fight with frogmen. In a panic, Pim's girlfriend Lily hides in another room. Here she met an old man in a wheelchair. After the old man electrocuted Lily to the ground, he boasted that he was using more drugs during his experiments to make frogmen more violent and bloodthirsty. The old man told Lily to come closer after praising her beauty. When Lily had to get close, the old man took out the spray, sprayed it on Lily's eyes and whistled. The frogman hiding in the pipe appears. Lily was beaten to pieces by it. Only Materi and William were left alive. The old man opened the door and saw them. Matt saw Lily's eyeball in the old man's hand and wanted to kill the old man, but he was afraid that behind the old man stood 2 frogmen. Matt changed to verbal sarcasm. They saw the old man's ugly face. 3 people run away. Frogman soon came after him. Matt used his homemade flame gun to scare off the enemy for a while, but Frogman didn't leave. He waited in the dark. The complex structure of the base made the 3 people lost their way, so Matt teamed up with Mary. William split up alone to find a way out. As a result, both sides are besieged by frogmen. All 3 are good fighters. Matt got out of trouble successfully with the fire in his hand, but William, who is alone, is not so lucky. By the time Matt arrived, William was already covered in bruises. Before he died, he hoped that Matt could help him relieve his pain as soon as possible. Matt took the pain and stabbed William. Matt looked at his brother's body with sadness. At this point, they have to find a way out of here. There's a cop on the other side, speeding toward the base. It turned out Lily's parents had called the police when they couldn't reach their daughter, and Matt found an iron door. When he opened it, he saw a shocking sight. The bones here are piled up into a hill. Above the corpse is the vent. They endured the stench and stood at the top of the corpse mountain, intending to climb up the wooden ladder. Matt unleashes all his power to destroy the frogmen one by one. Just when Matt couldn't hold on any longer, the policewoman heard the sound and found this place. She lifted the lid and pulled them up. Frogman did not catch up again. The 2 who survived just wanted to leave, but the policewoman was attracted by the sound coming from the ground and fell into the hole. The policewoman was taken underground by Frogman. A few seconds later, she climbed up with both hands. However, the 2 men took a closer look at the policewoman's lower body was gone. Matt and Mary left the base in a police car. Back home, the 2 are still very much in the shadow. At night, Mary dreamed that she was a frogman. After she woke up in fright, she heard strange noises coming from the bathroom and went in to take a look. What was Matt eating on the bloody floor? When Matt looked back, Mary realized that he had turned into a frogman. Mary woke up from her bed. She realized that everything that had just happened was an illusion. At this moment, Matt's phone rang, and when he opened it, he saw that it was Pim. He was caught into the water by the frog people and did not die, but was taken to the laboratory and tortured. And a film. This horror movie is called Under the Ground. There are too many bloody scenes in the film. The overall story arc is very simple. There is still room for improvement in the performance of actors, but the monster's combat power is okay. Its image is also very scary. The plot is reasonable. People fighting in a small space. Viewers who want to see the original film can search on their own. I'll see you next time. Thanks for your support.